Hello, everyone. Welcome, welcome, welcome. I'm Mashara. So excited to be your host for this evening. I know you all are ready to get started, so we're going to go ahead and jump right on in. Let me start off with the introduction. So, William Jackson is an accomplished author, motivational speaker, and life coach, and a trainer. His gift for personal development, coaching, and helping others find their purpose in life has deemed him by many one of the most passionate and visionary leaders of our time. Please help me welcome the author of the bestseller, When Life Happens, William Jackson. Hi, William.
Hey, how you doing?
Good. Welcome, welcome, welcome.
I am truly excited about tonight. We have a lot to unpack. I'm believing that somebody's going to walk away with a new perspective, with a transformed way of thinking, and that life is literally going to transition into a whole nother trajectory or realm for you tonight. I'm super excited. Life has been happening to us all, and the question is, how do we deal with it? We're going to unpack it tonight.
So glad to hear that. So I guess we're going to go ahead and jump into our fireside chat with our questions. So let's get started. We're going to start off light, not going to go into heavy, but we're going to start off a little light.
Okay.
Um, Due to the pandemic, we are all faced with a lot of negativity. In your book, you talk about counteracting our negative emotions and thoughts. With so much coming at us daily, can you give us some of your personal strategies for counteracting negative thoughts and emotions?
Sure. I'm definitely glad that you asked me that. I believe that negativity, one, is based on how you perceive the situation, right? I think it's tied to how you process what's happening to you. For instance, a weightlifter who goes into the gym, who punishes his body day in and day out, he doesn't associate the pain that he's experienced with a negative occurrence. He sees the pain as progress. And a lot of times, what I try to do is first, I associate what's happening with a different perspective because everything has a lesson that's tied to it. Everything has tools and strategies that can be extracted. So I don't allow my mind to drift to a place where I accept it as a negative occurrence. That's the first thing I do. Now,
Mhm.
that it sounds easy to do, or it may not sound easy depending on how you're looking at the situation. What I do is I give my thoughts direction, right? I don't allow my thoughts to dictate my emotions. The way that you control the direction of your thoughts is you continue to speak certain things that control the how information processes in your mind, right? So it's impossible to speak one thing and think something else simultaneously. Like you
Mhm.
can't do it, even if you try it right now. If you try to speak something and think something in the same moment, it can't happen, right? So the more that you speak positivity, the more that your brain has to process positivity in every occurrence, right? So if something is going on and it's a negative occurrence and it's a negative situation, if I'm speaking that this is working for me, if I'm speaking that I'm going to come out of this better, if I'm speaking that I won't break here, if I'm speaking that I'm getting better because of it, it doesn't allow my mind to go down the rabbit hole of what am I going to do now? I've lost this, I've lost that. It doesn't allow my mind to reflect in a space that keeps me in a negative way of thinking. So what I do literally, I just speak to myself out loud.
Mm.
I say the type of mentality or ways of thinking out loud that I want to embrace because it makes my mind go down the direction of my words. So your thoughts literally come out. The words that you speak tell your thoughts where to go. After it reaches your thoughts, it filters down into your emotions. And then you start feeling a certain way. The more you say something, the more you think on it, the more you feel it, and then you can react or act according to the way that you're thinking. So, what I do literally is I speak to myself whenever I'm feeling some type of, I'm not doing that. I'm not thinking that. We're not
Mm.
going there. I give my thoughts direction. So that's how I deal with it.
Awesome. That's good right there. My goodness. Thank you. All right, let's go to the next one. And I heard I had it all before. You talk about how our minds are conditioned to block our traumatic and bad experience, specifically around relationships. What advice do you have to those who have bad relationships, be it work, person, or family, and how to erase those negative memories?
So first, the saying goes, if at first you don't succeed, try again, right? I say, if at first you don't succeed, figure out if you were supposed to try it in the first place. A
Mm.
lot of times we're connected to bad situations because we've willingly connected ourselves to that situation.
Okay,
So
come
first, I got to look at me, right? I got to look at, is this a place that I need to be connected to? Am I working a job that literally is draining my life force? If this is something that I embrace, now I'm not telling you to walk off your job. I'm not telling you to quit. I'm just telling you that at first you have to assess how I got here, right?
on.
Once I get here and I realize how I got here, I instead of erasing the negative memories, I say stop trying to erase and extract,
Mm.
right? You cannot learn from something you are not willing to embrace. Instead of erasing it from your memory or trying to block it or trying to prevent it from taking over your thought process, extract the things that were designed in that space for you to learn, for you to get stronger from, for you to walk away with. Stop trying to erase it and extract it. Because the difference, here it is, the difference between a lesson and a memory is the emotional attachment,
Mm-hmm.
right? So the emotional attachment to a memory makes you remember. And when you remember, you start to rehash, right? If you stop and just literally start thinking about negative situations in your life, things that you may not have necessarily learned or detached from, the more you think about it, the more upset you'll get because the emotional attachment is still there to that occurrence. But a lesson causes you to move on, right? So when you remember, you rehash. When you start going back down memory lane, that's how you can start thinking about something. It can make you smile, or it can make you upset. So, but once you learn from it, you're able to clearly detach from it. But a lot of times we can't learn because we want to push it away because it hurts. But you can't learn from something you're not willing to embrace.
Mm.
There are so many tools. There are so many things that we can learn from and walk away with and be better based on our negative situations. Like the things, the failed relationships, the negative relationships, the tough relationships teach you way more than the positive ones do. But a lot of times we haven't taken that time to say, okay, it hurt, it didn't work, it failed. What do I walk away with?
Mm-hmm.
Instead of wasting pain, figure out what can you walk away with, because nothing that you go through is lesson free. There are certain things that we can learn from, that we can walk away with, and when we extract those things, we walk away better. That's how you don't repeat cycles.
Wow, wow. So I love that. What did you say? Stop erasing and start extracting. Extracting.
Extracting, yeah.
Yes, I love that. I'm gonna put that on my board. I love that one. All right. So now this next one we have is actually a two-part. So I'm gonna give you one and then we'll follow up with two. All right. Um, in the choice, you talk about learning and leaving.
Mhm.
Leaning and leaving. Leaning on, leaning. How do you properly access the person you are leaning on is tied to your destiny?
Okay, so how do you assess if the person that you're leaning on is tied to your destiny? First key is you have to identify what your destiny is. You yourself have to have a clear understanding of what your destiny is. You got to know what you are put on the earth to do, and you have to have a clear understanding of that thing. A lot of times we allow the flow of life, the flow of relationships to determine our destiny flow because we don't really know what our destiny is. So first you got to identify that. Once you have that locked in and you have a clear understanding, there's a few questions that you can ask yourself, right? One, does this person process an understanding of my destiny? Does the person that I'm connected to have an understanding of who I am,
Mm.
right? If they don't know who you are, they can't treat you according to who you are. They'll treat you according to the label that they put on you. And
Wow.
if that label is incorrect and you stay connected to a situation where they haven't identified who you are or whose you are or who you belong to, you are destined for frustration, right? So the first thing you got to do is ask, does this person have an understanding of my destiny? Once I get it, do you get it? Because if you don't get it, it's literally I'm beating my head against the wall trying to explain vision to blind people, right? So that's the first thing you do. Does this person process an understanding of my destiny? The second question, does this person push me closer to my destiny or pull me further away from it? Because every relationship is doing one or the other. Are they pushing me closer or pulling me away from it? The third question, does this person possess the qualities to enter my destiny space? Does the person that I'm in relationship with, do they have the qualities? Because there's a difference in getting to destiny and walking in destiny. Some people are qualified for the journey, right? To help you, to cover you, to push you, but they don't possess the qualities that are necessary to cross over into your destiny space. And I'm telling you, a lot of people have fallen because they took the wrong people into their destiny space. You were cool for when we were kids, and I love you for our relationship, but that doesn't mean that you are qualified to go with me into my destiny space, because I have to guard that. It is I feel one of the greatest frustrations in life is reaching your place of destiny just to have it snatched away from you because you didn't safeguard it. I can't take everybody with me. I can't. It's impossible, because at the end, God's going to ask me, what did I do with my destiny? And I can't say, well, when me and my homies, when we went in there, they sort of messed up and then I got kicked out. I can't blame it on nobody else. So does this person possess the qualities that are necessary to enter my destiny space? Last question. Does this person keep me focused on them or my destiny? And a lot of times our relationships are distractions because they have an idea of what your life should look like, or they have an idea on what you all's relationship would look like based on what they want from the relationship. Are they keeping me focused on them or my destiny? Now, once you answer those questions, you'll be able to determine if the person that you're tied to is connected to your destiny.
Wow. All right. Okay. And then the follow-up part, in your own words, you break down emotional, locational, and absolute leaving. Can you break that down for us, please?
Sure. So in toxic situations or in environments where you have to decide how you're going to handle it when stuff gets a little rocky, there's 3 different types, I believe, of leaving that you can do from the situation. Locational leaving is literally, I need to get out of here before things go left, right? I need to go right now before I say something that I'm not going to be able to take back. I need to go ahead and leave because you're pushing me to the edge. I believe the psalmist said, don't push me because I'm close to the edge. I'm trying not to lose. Okay, but I need to get out of here before I lose it, right? And you notice when you need to leave, when offense is driving the interaction and not resolution, right? If you're offended and you're speaking from a place of offense, and that's the only thing driving your interaction, where you're not even listening to hear, you're listening or waiting just for your opportunity to respond. Okay, maybe this isn't the moment to have this conversation, because offense is driving it. The only thing we're doing is building up our emotions, and we're about to come head to head and have this explosion, right? So location leaving is, I need a beat, let me get out of here for a second. Emotional leaving is when you check out. This one is the most dangerous, because a lot of us have checked out of situations, relationships, jobs. You're so sick of it. You got so tired. You just went numb, and you become, I call it in the book, the zombie state, where you're just going through the motions. I'm checked out. I don't have nothing for you. It's literally like a walking zombie. You're the walking dead in whatever your situation is. But what's so crazy about it is that you go numb emotionally, but then you lose the concept of how much damage you're taking, because the blows no longer affect you. So by the time you are actually able to get to the place of the next one, which is absolute leaving, you have taken so much damage that it's hard to rebound or repair or get to a place where now you can get back on the saddle of life. Because I checked out and I'm just going through the motions, and every day I'm taking damage, but I don't have an accurate assessment of how much damage I'm taking because I checked out. It no longer matters to me. The last one is absolute leaving. That's the complete disconnect. That's when you've done all that you can do and you realize that this is just too toxic. I can't save it. I can't salvage it. Or I realize that this wasn't the place for me. This wasn't the job for me. And you realize that staying in this specific relationship or situation kills your destiny. So I leave absolutely. I'm done with it. It's over. And that's it.
Wow. Wow. Okay. All right. You talk about restlessness and how it can impact us. Can you elaborate on the dangers on not being at rest?
So I'll tell myself, right? I'm honest. I have a problem resting because my mind is always going, right? It's a thousand things to do. It's so for years I would sleep for a few hours and I would get up, right? And then I sleep for another 30 minutes and then I get up, not knowing that my restlessness was preventing me from being productive, right? So, because when you're restless, so here's three things that happens when you're restless. I'm gonna give you a few that's not in the book. Your vision becomes impaired and your ability to make rational decisions, it veers off the path of rational thinking and onto the dirt road of emotional confusion. So you now can't process things rationally. You see it through the lens of your emotion. And I'm gonna let you in on a little secret. It's just me and you. Don't tell nobody. Emotions are stupid. That's just between us, okay? Because emotions are based in the moment, right? Emotions that are not tied to a grounded sense of thinking or a rational way of looking at things is dangerous because emotions change. You could be happy and in another moment you could be mad. Now, if you make a decision in your low space of emotion, you then compromise everything that you've been building. Wow. So you got to be able to step back. If you're restless, you can't see things straight. You can't operate from a rational place. Now, you may have a form of productivity, right? And this is where it checked me, because I can have a form of productivity, but I won't have maximum productivity because I'm restless. So I can't process it fully because I haven't gotten any rest. The next thing that happens when you're restless is you make concessions and shortcuts because you're tired. So you're just trying to figure out, okay, how can I get through with it? Okay, I'm tired. I just want to rest. How can I get done? Okay, if I cut across this way, it'll save me 2 hours, not knowing that the last key or part of the lesson that you needed to learn was in the curve that you needed to go around. So I'm tired, so I'm gonna make a shortcut. You know what? I can't. I'm tired. Let's just get it done. Let's just get it done. How can I get it done? I'm gonna make this concession. I'm gonna cut across here, and that one shortcut could cause me to have to repeat this entire journey. Wow. Because I needed what was in the last curve, but I was so restless. I just wanted to get done with it. Let's just get it done. How can I get it done? When you're restless, you make shortcuts and concessions. And when you process, when you have process shortcuts, it means incomplete lessons. When you take shortcuts in the process, you miss out on things that you needed to complete the lesson. So, and the last thing, restlessness damages destiny relationships. Some relationships will survive, yes, because they could be emotional relationships, they could be situational, they could be transactional relationships. Destiny relationships thrive on what I like to call destiny energy. There is a certain energy that you give when you're in the destiny space. You're focused, you're invested. People can get behind people who have a mission, who are focused, and who are pushing towards something, who's working towards something, who can put forth this authentic energy. It's infectious. The best leaders have this infectious energy that you just want to get behind. It makes you believe in them. That's destiny energy. But when you're restless, you don't give off that energy. And destiny relationships need that energy to survive. So my question is, how many destiny relationships could we have damaged or missed out on because we were so tired we couldn't give destiny energy? So those are a few things that restlessness, not being at rest, it's dangerous. So I'm telling you, like I'm telling me, rest.
Wow. Thank you for that. Restlessness equals shortcuts and concessions. Okay. I love that. All right. So we're going to move on. We have a couple of questions. Some of these you kind of hit on a little bit, but if you want to elaborate a little more, please do. Um, will your purpose ever not feel fulfilling? In more context, if I have a job, and you kind of talked about this a little bit, if I have a job, I feel drained, I'm aggravated every day, does this mean it's not my purpose?
In my opinion, I feel that purpose doesn't ever not feel fulfilling, but it has what I call the front side frustrations. It's I know I need to be doing it, but I really don't want to do it. You know, I'm tired. But as soon as I tap into it, something in me comes alive because it speaks to the core of who I am. So that's where the fulfilling comes from, because it literally, it's easy. It pours out of me, and it's probably the one space in life that's easy. And when you reach that moment where you're in that vein, whether it be a creative vein or an organizational vein or a spiritual vein, and it speaks to your purpose, something in you, the core of who you are, begins to come alive, and you begin walking in that true essence of your purpose. That's how you can be tired, and you can be worn out, you can be whatever negative emotion you can think of, but as soon as you tap in it, something happens. You don't know how you got this energy. I know musicians and producers who were dog tired going into a studio session, and all of a sudden they hit a vein and they were in there 5, 6 hours, coming out like, I was tired when I got here, but purpose woke me up. And a lot of times that's how you can tell, because purpose should wake you up. There should be a burden. It should be something that pulls on you. You got to be able to tap into that thing that you were created for. So yeah, it may have those front side frustrations, like you really don't want to do it, right? I really don't feel like you're worn out from your job. You're worn out, from maybe you're taking care of your kids. It's been a long day. But as soon as you tap into purpose, something wakes up.
Mm. Hmm. I love that. Okay. All right. How can I gain greater self-confidence?
Good. I'm glad you asked that. One, stop comparing. Listen, I feel that a social media break is necessary, like
Hmm.
periodically, because the more you look at other people's life, and I put it in air quotes because it's really not the life that they're living. The more you look at that, you start looking at your situation like, man, I wish I were them. Oh, how can I? And you can't build confidence in yourself because you're comparing yourself to other people who are not even living an authentic life. It's not even the authentic version of yourself. So stop comparing. That's the first thing, because comparison kills confidence. It does. The next thing you got to do is you have to be intentional about what you say about yourself. The things that you speak about you have power. You have to be intentional. You can't call yourself what somebody called you. I don't care if somebody called you ugly. You can't call yourself ugly. You can't say that you have a impediment. That you can't say that you're this. Because when you speak it, you give life to it. So you have to be intentional about the things that you say. which leads you to the next thing. Say great things about yourself often. The best athletes have a confidence and an aura that exudes themselves, and they speak it often. They tell themselves, look in the mirror, I'm the best. It's nobody out here that can guard me. They call LeBron James the king. He said, I want my respect. Why? Because I'm the king. But when you take on that personality and you start speaking that over yourself, there is literally nobody on the earth that has your same fingerprint, that has your DNA. You are so unique, and God wouldn't make you that unique if there were not a unique purpose for you to fulfill in the earth. But you can't allow social media or the climate of the cultural climate to dictate what you say about you. Yeah, you may not have it now, you may not be where you want to be, but you got to speak to the where you are going, what you desire to see. You got to say great things about yourself often. Every time you walk past a mirror, we'll just make that homework for the night. Every time you see a mirror tonight, you should just walk past and say, oh, you a bad somebody. You cold. Look at you. Look at you. Look at how you looking. Boy, girl, listen, you bad. You a bad somebody. You are purposed. You strong. You beautiful. And when you say it, I'm telling you, that thing is going to attach to your emotions. You're going to start feeling it. And then you can start walking in it. And the last thing, in order building to gain greater self-confidence, don't allow people around you who feels or says things contrary to what you say about yourself. Don't keep people around you who speak negativity. You got to get what I call double agents out of your camp. And what I mean by double agents, they pose as friends, but deep down inside, they got some deep rooted jealousy, or they hating on you for no reason, or they always find a way to make you the butt of the joke. That's not a friend.
True.
My friend should be building me. My friend should be encouraging. My friend should be able to identify that I don't have confidence and be able to pour into me confidence that I don't have in myself. But if we're not connecting with people who are designed to go with us into our destiny space, we will allow where they are in this very moment to prevent us from getting to our destiny space, because if we accept their word curses, we accept what they say about us or the way that they view us. So you got to stop comparing, be intentional about what you say about yourself, say great things about yourself often, and keep the clowns out your circle. The people who always got something negative to say, I'm telling you, it's killing your confidence.
Good stuff. Good stuff. Next question. How important is self-honesty versus outward honesty?
Okay. So in my opinion, I believe that self-honesty is the only honesty, because if you're not honest within yourself, with who you are, with where you are, everything that you exude outwardly is a lie, because you're exuding it based on trying to maybe please people or trying to fit into a specific crowd or circle. But instead of identifying, this is where I am, this is who I am, I'm honest with the things that I face, then I can build everything on the foundation of truth. And we have so many people are building. Social media is a foundation of lies. Them folk don't look like that. They don't have that car. That's not their house. That money, that's bill money. Like they about to take that and go pay their rent. Like it's not. It's a lot of these people are trying to present this image because they're not comfortable with who they are. And in order to be honest with who you are, it creates a level of comfortability. You have to get comfortable with who I am. I'm not you, and I'm cool with that. I'm cool with being me. I don't have to be you, because trying to be you leads me down a path where I don't accomplish what I'm here to accomplish. I can't. Listen, you do you. I'm gonna do me. And once you have that level of honesty, this is just who I am. It's where I am, and I'm okay with it. But a lot of times, and here it is, a lot of times we don't want to accept where we are because we don't have the belief that where we are will change. So we want to associate the image now with where we are versus saying, you know what, this is where I am. It's not where I'm going to always be though.
That's good right there. I love
This
it. Yes,
this
yeah,
is
yeah.
this is who I am, but that doesn't mean I can't get better.
Right,
That doesn't
right.
mean I can't lose weight. That doesn't mean that I can't get a better job. That doesn't mean that I can't fix my credit. That doesn't mean that I can't buy the things that I want. This is just where I am now, and I'm honest. I get it. But because I have a perception of my future, a healthy perception of my future. That's it. Because I have a healthy perception of my future, I can have an accurate assessment of my present.
Yeah, that's good.
So yeah, so I feel like that's how you build your outward honesty is first being honest with yourself.
yeah, you hit it on the head when you said that where we are is not, where we're going. And so sometimes
Yeah.
we try to make it be our current situation. That right there was good. That's realness right there. Thank you for that. We're going to shift the questions a little bit, kind of go into more questions surrounding relationships.
Okay.
So the first question is, my mate feels unreachable emotionally. His
Mhm.
behavior and routine has changed drastically over the past few months. How do I reach him?
First, I feel like you got to go back to the root. Figure out if you can pinpoint the moment that it changed, figure out what happened there. Because a lot of times we try to address behaviors, which are petals. We want to address petals, but we never get to the roots. And when you pick a petal can grow back. When you pull a root, you get done with it. So you got to go back first to see what happened at this point where things changed, where it shifted, and figure out what was the root cause of that. Then you got to figure out how to address it, but from a standpoint of communication that it can be heard by him. A lot of times we go into situations trying to communicate with how we like to communicate instead of taking in consideration that may not be your communication style. The goal of communication is to get what you said heard, not out. So you got to be able to get it heard. So it's almost like, and I call it the airplane principle. A baby who doesn't like peas, right? You try to give them some peas, they don't like it, and they start turning their head. No. But you take that same spoon of peas and you start making noises with it. Right? You make it, you make it appeals to their eye. It makes it more accessible, and it makes it something that I want to take, even though I don't like it. And presentation can literally change how people receive things. You got to be honest, but you got to make the focus on that person and how they communicate. Then last thing I'm gonna give you the game, ladies, is that you have to be able to put the issue aside for a second, to stroke the ego, right? In order for a man to let down his defensive walls. Delilah was able to take down the strongest man in history because she put aside the fact that you lied to me when I asked you where your strength lies. I'm keeping the main thing the main thing. Let me rub your head, let me rub your back, so that way you can relax yourself, so that now once I cross over into that space, I can do some deep digging. But when you try to jump at it initially with a man, he's gonna shut down. Well, I don't understand what's wrong. Shut down. Boom. Well, I don't see why. Boom. It's a wrap. But if you come from that angle where it's the subtleties, it's the, when you start applauding the man that he was, babe, I remember when you used to do that. And I just want to say thank you. Thank you for the times where you did this, X, Y, and Z, woo, woo. And now his defense mechanisms come down. And then now when you're in that space, you can be like, so how did we get here? Like, did something change? Is it? And now he's more inclined to communicate.
Good tip. Good advice for that. What is the role of a soulmate, and how much does spirituality and religion play a part in your soulmate?
Okay. So soulmates, right? They should connect to the depths of who you are. They connect to to your core, to your character, to the things that you like. You have similarities where there's a commonality in who you are, and you connect on the depths of what matters to me, and what speaks to the core of who I am matters to you and speaks to the core of you. That's a soulmate, right? In terms of religion and spirituality, a soulmate and a destiny partner are two different things. Now, they can be the same, but you can be a soulmate, but not somebody that's tied to my destiny. You can speak to the core of who I am. We like the same things. We click, we connect. But in terms of God's plan for my life, that's a spirit thing. So I got to be able to not only just connect with you in my soul, I got to be able to connect with you in the spirit. And in that space, I'm able to now not only connect with you, but then I can build with you. And a lot of times we're trying to build with people that we were only meant to connect with.
Mm.
So we met, we like the same things. We vibe and everything is cool. Chemistry is off the charts. However, does this align with my destiny? Because we can be connected, but that doesn't mean that we're a destiny partner. So you just got to figure out one. I feel like the most fruitful relationships are people who are soulmates and destiny partners all wrapped in one. So.
Okay. And then this is a follow-up question to help you elaborate a little more. Can your soulmate be the person you're not with? If so, how do you balance both?
Short answer, yes. Soulmate can be somebody that you're not connected to or that you're not with. Your soulmate doesn't even have to be somebody of the opposite sex. Your best friend can be your soulmate because you connect on such a depth, on a level that is impenetrable. Like you all have this unbreakable bond. That's a soulmate. It's not just in the connotations of love and passionate relationship. It's we connect on the core of who we are, our core values, everything that speaks to me speaks to you. That's our souls are connected in that manner. If that is the case, and your soulmate is not the person that you're with, in order to balance the two, you have to first properly prioritize the two. Because just because you're a soulmate doesn't mean that you take precedence over my destiny partner or my life mate. Just because we connect, and you see it a lot of times where people prefer to hang out with their friends than their spouse. Right? Me and my homie, we kicking it all the time. Every Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, I'm with my homie. But then your relationship is neglected because I'm putting my soulmate over my life mate, which is incorrect in the eyes of God. If I'm going at the hierarchy, it's God, then my spouse. But if I'm putting my soulmate ahead of the person that I'm connected to, I'm out of order. Now it may feed, the core of who I am, but I'm wrong because I haven't properly prioritized. So in order to balance, you got to put them in a proper priority. You can't just, and people, we do what we feel just because we want to and we think it's okay. It's not. It's not. So you got to be able to you got to properly prioritize the two, and then make sure that the ones who are supposed to be at the top of the list aren't being pushed to the bottom just because of how you feel from the relationship and the connection of your soulmate.
Good stuff. Good stuff. Thank you for that. Okay, many of our singles in our singles ministry are utilizing online dating. With the way the world is changing, do you think this should be looked at as taking the control out of God's hands versus putting work with faith?
Okay, I'm gonna let y'all in on another secret, right? Just everybody lean close, right? The issue is not in how we find our spouse. The issue is we don't consult God before we find our spouse. We go to God after. God can use anything, right? He can use social media. He can use online dating sites. He can use your church. He can use your homie. He can use your mama. The issue is we want to do it and then take it to God and say, can you bless what I've done? So I don't feel like it's the taking the control out of God's hands. I feel like it's the issue is we don't go to God first. We want what we want, and we're gonna figure out how we're gonna get it. That's the issue. Okay, so I'm doing it my way. Meeting people at my job didn't work. Cool. I'll try online dating. I'll do this. I'll try this. I'll try this. And then when I connect with somebody, I'm like, cool, this feels good. And then we go to God and say, God, what you think? And he like, if you would have just came to me ahead of time, I could have saved you 10 years. But we want to do it our way. So I don't think it's necessarily that you shouldn't use online dating. I think the issue is, what is the pathway for you? And the way that you find that is going to God first. But here's a real question. Do we really believe or have the faith that God has the exact person that I want, need, and desire? Do we really believe it? Like for real, for real? Because if we did, we wouldn't be in such a rush to do it our way. Because I know if he created me the way that he created me, then he created someone else specifically designed for me. So why would I try to build a house without going to the architect for the blueprint? So I hope I answered that.
Yes, you did. Wow. I love that. Build a house without going to the okay. How do you rebuild trust in a relationship where it's been broken?
Um, Complete honesty and transparency and time. Once trust is broken, you can only rebuild it by being completely honest about how you feel about it, completely honest about where you are throughout the process, being completely transparent. If you got caught cheating, you gotta go above and beyond. You got to give all passcodes. You got to listen. If it's worth you fighting for, you have to now put the work in to rebuild that trust, rebuild that security, rebuild. And it takes a level of complete transparency and honesty. Now, this may sting a little bit, right? You also have to be honest enough with yourself to determine if there were contributing factors to what took place to break your trust. Are there things that I did that may have made you respond in this manner? Now, I'm not saying that that's always the truth, but I feel, if we're just looking at the basis of cheating, I feel that a lot of people don't cheat just because they're jerks, right? Or they're selfish. Now, there are some who do, but there are a lot of people who cheat because there are voids in relationship. Say, for instance, your wife goes to work, you pay her no attention, you give her no compliments. All of a sudden, Brad says, "Oh, I like that dress on you." He notices her new nails. He compliments her on her hair. There's a void there that allows someone to slip into the space that I wasn't manning, right? So if I gotta look at me and say, is there something I did to cause that trust to be broken? Could it be me? Now, yes, that doesn't necessarily give you the right to do what you did in any relationship, whether it be friendship or a spouse, that doesn't necessarily give you an automatic right, but it maybe can help me understand why you did what you did. And then I can sort of correct my behaviors. You can correct your behaviors, and then we can build something stronger than it was before. Because if the trust is broken, 9 times out of 10, there was a crack in the foundation. There was a fault line somewhere there that allowed something to take place.
Good stuff. Good stuff. All right. If in a relationship, when you express what is important to you, what your triggers are, and what your needs are, if your partner says they understand and agree and accommodate them, what would be the reason they stop doing these things? That's the first part, and then we have some follow-up parts as well.
Okay. So I'm going to give you the way that I look at situations. When there is a situation that's happened, a negative situation, or something changes in a relationship, the first thing I do is look at me, because I want to make sure first that I'm doing my part in order to facilitate an environment that creates a space where the person who I'm looking for to fulfill my needs has a desire to fulfill my needs, right? I feel like that people operate according to their love tank level, the amount of love that's in their tank, and their tank is filled by what they receive. If people are motivated by what they receive and they were on board initially, then my first question would be, has your output level changed? Has something changed on your end that made them no longer want to be or do or accommodate the needs that you wanted them to accommodate? Could it be, one, that they are lacking motivation because you used to do this and now you no longer do that? So every action has an equal and opposite reaction. So my action causes you to withdraw from the things that you've initially agreed to. But we focus so much on what you're not doing that we miss the fact that you may not be doing it because of what I'm not doing. That's number one. Then I ask, the next question is, are they getting what they need in order to facilitate your need? And after that, how realistic are your needs? Because, now everybody should have a list of negotiables and non-negotiables, but sometimes we can be a little unrealistic, right? We want, a guy may want 6 meals a day from scratch, no box, nothing, hand churned butter. We want you to knit us a sweater every winter and fall. It's unrealistic, right? So it's sometimes things could be, it's a little much. So we got to take a look at ourselves again, look at our list, and then next thing, are they showing signs that they may be interested in someone else? So those are tough questions because people generally don't have the energy to give all of themselves to multiple situations. I can only give all of me here or all of me there. And then once all of me diminishes and there are pieces and parts that I'm trying to give to certain situations, and it doesn't have to be another love interest. It could be that I've reached a space where I got to give this energy to my children. They're older, teenagers, demands change, and I may not have it in me to give you 6 meals a day because I got some teenagers in the house and I got to feed them. So I can't do 6 meals. So you just got to be honest with where you are.
Good. And then this is the last question. It's a kind of a follow-up question to this, though.
Okay.
Whose responsibility is it to change? Should they remember, or do I need to remind?
One, I feel like if it's important to you, you have to do the due diligence to make sure that you express how important it is and help them transition from them doing what they are doing to what you desire or you would like to see them do. Say, for instance, if you met somebody at the age of 25, that's 25 years of doing life one way. If your way does not align with the way that they have done life for 25 years, telling them something one time is not going to change or cause them to adjust their whole life's approach. You got to be willing. It takes 21 days to develop a habit. Are you invested enough that for 21 days you can be, hey, I like this, I would like for you to do this. And when they do it, celebrate it. Thank you for that. I appreciate it. Thank you for doing that. Thank you for thinking about me when you did that, because I really like when you do that. Reinforcing those ideas. Are you doing your part to make sure that because if it's important to you, if it's important to me, then I have to express it. But I can't say it 1 or 2 times and just expect that somebody's going to get it. Not if they've done life for any amount of time the way that they've done it. And then 2, you got to be with somebody, or preferably you're with somebody who wants to be what you need. Because if they don't want to be it, it doesn't matter Because a lot of times when we first meet people, they present their representatives. So I'll open doors for a while. I'll do something sweet for you for a while. Or I'll cook for you for a while. Or I'll compliment you for a while. But then the real them comes out. So you just got to take time, and you got to be, if it's important to you and it's a non-negotiable, you got to stand firm on it.
Awesome. Awesome. Wow. This has been such an amazing fireside chat. Thank you so much for joining us this evening and giving us some insight, some more tools, and some wisdom. Before we go, though, we'd just like for you to share any closing remarks, anything you'd like to share with us today.
Sure. So I feel like it's imperative to understand that life is a journey. It's a marathon. And every time that something happens is not a cause to throw out the baby with the bathwater. Life has been difficult in a lot of spaces. A lot of us have lost a lot, especially during this pandemic. A lot of us have lost family members. A lot of us has faced actual our own battle with the virus. And there's a lot of things that have happened. The truth of the matter is this: everything that you have faced, lost. You are undefeated because you're still here. So if you are still here, you have the capability within you to rebound when life happens. You have the capability within you and the power within you to rebuild when life happens. You have everything inside of you that is necessary for you to reach the place that you desired to reach in the first place, regardless as to what happened. You just have to be the one that doesn't give up on you. Be the one that doesn't give up on you. You have everything inside of you. You just have to make that your mantra, that whatever you face, there's lessons in it. It's tools in it. There are things to walk away with, and it didn't break you. It made you better. There is no, I don't think that there is failure in life. The only failure is not attempting again. It's not getting back up and try again. You only fail when you don't get up. So just because the fact that you're here tonight lets me know that life might have happened, but life didn't win. So it is my desire to be a source of light and encouragement to you, to let you know that this moment was not by happenstance. God himself orchestrated this moment to let you know that you can win, even when life happens.
Awesome. Again, thank you so much for this evening. We're going to close with what you just said. Be the one that doesn't give up on you. That is absolutely amazing. Thank you so much for joining us with this and just bringing us more information and enlightening us. Thank you so much again.
Thank y'all for having me. I appreciate you.
Absolutely.